Hello, everybody. Bobby Umar here, and I'm excited to talk about finding your passions and how to find your passions with Seopa. Glad to have you join us. If I'm from Toronto, and if you want to share a bit about who you are and where you're from, I'd love to hear where you're from. I'm from Toronto. Where are the rest of you guys from? By all means, ask questions, give comments. If you like what you're hearing, definitely share some hearts. We'd love to actually hear from you guys. And I want to thank Seopa for organizing this every week. You can also see the stream on seopa.com/stream. And let's get right into the topic, which is how to find your passions. And let me just turn the... Okay, so, hey guys. All right, perfect. Hey guys. So, finding your passions, I think, is a very challenging thing. And I think a lot of people struggle with that. And the reason is because often we have too many passions. So, I'm passionate about politics. I'm passionate about spirituality. I'm passionate about yoga. I'm passionate about our fitness. And so it gets to be really difficult for a lot of people to navigate that. Now, the first step, hey John, welcome. I'm glad to see you guys. And thanks for the hearts. Again, if you like what you're hearing, I'm here weekly with Seopa. Hey John, we're here. Thanks for the hearts. Beautiful double tap, triple tap the hearts are fantastic. If you like what you're hearing, by all means, share this on Twitter. Give us the hearts. We're going to be here every week at 11:45 a.m. on Twitter to talk about this. This is our second week. We're working on doing a weekly chat. SEOP is all about seize your passion. So every topic is going to be about passions and how passions are important, how to explore passions. So let's get right into the first topic, which is really about, how do you find your passions? Well, the first thing is to acknowledge the fact that you can have lots and lots of passion. Now, first, what is a passion? Well, a passion is something that you're willing to go to town for, that you actually act upon, or that you talk about. So if you actually don't act upon it or talk about it, it's not really a passion, right? Passion requires you to talk about or act on it. Otherwise, it's just a hobby or a passing interest, really. A passion is something that if I say, hey, what's your passion? I say, my kids, board games, hockey, soccer, whatever it is. But these are things that you talk about with your friends, or you say, I go rock climbing. Therefore, it's more of a passion as opposed to a hobby. Now, how do you find your passions? A lot of people struggle with this because, and I think the biggest problem, maybe you guys can share with me, what are some of your biggest problems with finding your passions? For me, I'll tell you what I had a problem with, which was I had too many passions, right? I had like 10 things I was passionate about. So how do I figure out the right thing to do? And the key for that really is you have to take the time to, number one, understand yourself, and number two, prioritize. So one of the things I did was I went through a personal branding process where I basically dived deep into understanding my values, my skills, my interests, my personality traits, the stories of my life. And then, so one of the things it was, look at values, for example. So let's say here are my 10 values. I love balance, compassion, personal connection, status, power, money, whatever these things are, or love, gratitude. Now, the question is, you may have 10, 20, 30, 40, maybe even 50 different values that are important to you, but how do you rank them? How would you rank them, like 1, 2, 3, all the way down to 10? So doing that exercise really helped me hone in on my passion a bit more. So my number one passion, and again, I do this every year, but my number one passion this year was love. Number 2 was balance. Number 3 was connection, social connection. So doing that helps me understand in terms of how I want to spend my time, who I want to spend my time with, and what kind of vocation or job or career or entrepreneurship path I want to go on. So that's a big part of this. And again, thanks for the hearts. I love that. That's great. Ranking them and prioritizing what's more important to you, ranking your values, ranking your skills, ranking your interests and traits, that actually becomes a challenge for a lot of people, but that'll actually help you hone in on the passions. Similarly, let's say you already have a whole bunch of passions. Let's say you have a list of 10 passions. Now, again, rank them for me, right? I'm going to say, and I'm going to force you, I'm going to say, you know what? You can't do half of these. Take them off the list. You're going to let's use an analogy. You're going to a desert island, and you can bring with yourself all the books of your life, all the music of your life, all the movies of your life. Which do you choose? Just one. Now, that forces you to think about what's important to you from a value standpoint, from an interest standpoint, but also what you're passionate about. Like for me, books, movies, or music, like holy crap, like how do you even choose that? I probably pick movies because it's a catch-22 because it gets me both my music and some movies as well as some stories. So I would choose the movies. See what I did there? So that's a big part about finding your passion. Another thing to think about is in terms of finding your passion, you need to talk to other people. So have an advisory group, have mentors, have people in different industries. So let's say you have 10 different places where you are very passionate. So then let's say I'm passionate about nonprofit arts management. So then, find a couple people in that area and talk to them, have an interview, see what their life is like, see what they love, see what they don't love. And the second thing you can do is, let's say you are passionate about, I'm going to make this up, stamp collecting. Find two people who are into stamp collecting, talk about it. And you'll soon gauge and understand a bit about what their lives are like, what they go through, what their day-to-day is, and you can decide whether it works for you or fits in your life. So that's another way to really understand your passions. The third thing is to really get someone to help you do it. I mean, it's very hard for us. One of the challenges we have in our lives is there's a lot of noise. Even in our minds, there's a lot of noise in here. And so we need clarity, we need focus, we need strategy. So working with a coach or a mentor or a consultant or even like someone that you trust to just think about, what are the things that I'm passionate about. And, don't, and again, this means that just because one person or two people tell you that this is what you should do, that's what you should do. Not at all. In fact, if you go through the personal brand process that I've kind of, in my signature methodology is really, I use my own self-reflection, number one. Number two, I use the reflection of others. So I actually use a feedback mechanism where I ask my parents, my friends, my cousins, my people I've worked for, people I've worked below me, and I ask them all 10 questions about specific feedback about myself. So you do your own reflection, you get the reflection of other people. Then I do reflection from certain personality tests and assessment tests. My favorite ones are Strength Finder, Enneagram, and Myers-Briggs. And then the fourth thing is look at the stories of my life. Where was I happiest? Where was I not happiest? Where was I at a point where I didn't care? And by doing that process, I get a sense of what I'm really, really passionate about. So when I did that whole process for myself, what I found is that for me, 5 themes emerged for me. Number one, I love diversity and excitement, which is urban living, which is where I live downtown Toronto. By the way, where are you guys from? By all means, tell me where you're from. I want to hear where you're from. Like, by all means, comment, quote. Let me hear from you. Number 2, I'm about people. I love people. Number 3, I like nurturing and helping others. Number 4, I like persuasion and influence. And number 5, I like performing. And so by doing that, I was able to come up with a path that was completely aligned with my passions, which is what I'm doing now, which is motivational speaking and business coaching. Toronto Uptown, that's great. So again, that's why following your passions, if you know how to do that properly, it's a great exercise. And here's the thing, we are passionate about a lot of things. So honing in on the 2 or 3 that you're really awesome at, that'll make you more of a superstar. I mean, the perfect example is Michael Jordan. He was passionate about basketball. He was also passionate about baseball. But in basketball, he was a superstar, a demigod. He decided to follow his passion in baseball, struggled with it, and then what did he do? He went back. Welcome, Florida. That's great. He went back he did baseball because he thought he was passionate about it, but it didn't work out for him. So then he went back to basketball, had 3 more championships, was a demigod, a superstar again. So the reason why you want to hone in on your passions is because you want to take the 2 or 3 passions that you really, really care about and become a master at those. Learn those and become really, really awesome at it and become a superstar and a superhero the way Michael Jordan was in basketball. So similarly, honing in on the 1, 2, or 3 passions that you're all about, that's where you want to spend your time. That's where you're going to make the most impact for your work and your business and your life. And I highly encourage you to really do that due diligence. And then, the last thing to think about your passions in terms of finding your passions is to really take the time to review and reflect upon it, every 6 months, every year. Because you know what? You change as your life changes. I mean, for example, as soon as I had kids, my life changed in terms of what I was passionate about. Now I'm passionate about parenting issues and things for kids. I'm passionate about Star Wars again because I want to show my son Star Wars. So things change as you change. So you have to be willing to, take those results and take that information and evolve and grow and learn as you're doing it. All right. So I hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions, again, please, ask questions below about finding your passions. If I can share a few more things about finding your passions, it's very important because it's the, finding what you really love to do and then doing that the rest of your life is going to cause you deliriously happiness. I mean, too many of us spend a lifetime not being fulfilled, right? We're not fulfilled with our people, with our relationships, not fulfilled with our work. We're not fulfilled with our extracurricular pursuits. We're not fulfilled with our own spirituality, meditation, reflection. So taking the time to really fulfill all four of those things will actually increase the happiness. And to me, that's how I define success. I define success by increasing happiness in all areas of my life. And so if you can do that, if you can find those passions, you can actually take the time to do it. By all means, take the time. If you have any questions, you tweet me at Rayhan Bobby. Check out my website, www.rayhan.com. You can also check out seopa.com/stream for a copy of this stream. And again, ask us questions, engage. We want to engage you. We want to build a community. We really want to make sure that those of you who are struggling to find your passions or need that extra insight or want that extra focus can do it by joining me and joining us and really sharing your thoughts, and we're going to get you on that path to delirious happiness. Because you know what? Investing 100 hours of time into understanding who you are, which then leads to 450,000 hours of delirious happiness, which is about 50 years. Is that worth something to you? Because if it is, then I will see you out there on that journey, and I hope to help you on that path to happiness. So again, we'll be back next week too. I actually do a daily periscope at 8:50 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I didn't do it today, but I do typically do it every day. And I'll be here next week with seopa.com/stream to share my thoughts on the next topic for seizing your passions. So have a great day, guys. Keep seizing your passions.